Welcome to Indigos Gaming. Today's guide is for the achievement Rocket Queen on the mission Welcome to the Jungle in the Wings of Liberty campaign. First, I will do a walkthrough on Normal to show the basic strategy. After that, I will do a walkthrough on Brutal.
What's going on? You gonna give me...
The achievement's requirements are to complete the entire mission in less than 14 minutes.
SCV ready.
The mission's objectives are to gather terrazine cans.
Terrazine sites, brother. These should make our lives a little easier.
Our SCVs can pick up terrazine canisters and move them. It'll take them a while to disconnect the canister, so make sure you watch out for them.
Been waiting on you. That's
You collect cans of terrazine by clicking with an SCV onto these terrazine geysers. Once you do that, you'll have to defend the SCV as it turns it into a canister and then takes that can back to your command center.
armed and ready. SCV ready.
Insufficient Vespine gas.
Been waiting on you. Roger that.
Incoming transmission.
SCV ready.
This land was sacred to the Tal'Darim before Terrans ever reached the stars. You must depart immediately.
Hold on now. We just need some of this gas here. We'll be long gone before you know it.
No. You shall not defile the breath of creation. Tal'Darim warriors, execute all those who would desecrate our altar.
The protoss are mobilizing, sir. Looks like they're gonna go after our SCVs when we harvest the terrazine. I suggest we only harvest one side at a time and run with a heavy escort.
Definitely do not only
Good
harvest
job.
one at a
That's
time.
the first canister field.
By the numbers, boys. SCV ready.
Insufficient Vespine gas.
Ah, you scared me. You gonna give me orders? SCV ready.
The strategy that I plan to do to get this achievement is work on specific geysers of terrazine. There are 4 in the bottom left here,
SCV ready.
and then 3 in the middle.
Armed and ready.
It will be those 7 geysers that I recommend you focus on for the mission.
What's going on? Go ahead. Huh? This better be good. SCV ready. I feel ya. Roger that.
Warning. The Tal'Darim are sealing off a terrazine altar.
Wonderful. The Tal'Darim are sealing off the terrazine altar so we can't get at them. If they keep it up, we won't be able to collect enough.
Additional supply depots required.
Always supply blocked.
And more. Go on.
Bold move, Mr. Reyna. Collecting terrazine from 2 places at once.
Sure, it's gonna be harder to keep the Tal'Darim off our backs, but the quicker we're done here, the sooner we can get off this rock.
You gonna give me
Incoming
orders?
transmission.
SCV ready.
You shall not steal the breath of creation so easily. Careful. They're sending their ships to take out your SCVs. Shoot them down quick, or we're finished.
Been waiting on you. SCV ready.
Make sure you defend your SCVs as you collect the terrazine,
By the numbers, boys.
and if the protoss try to seal off terrazine altars in those 2 areas that I recommend focusing on, you need to mobilize to stop them. If it's anywhere else, you do not need to worry about it.
3 down. You're doing great. Keep it up.
That's over half the canisters you wanted.
Gangway.
Additional supply depots required.
Get +1 infantry weapons.
You gonna give me orders? Go, go,
That was all 4 of the terrazine sites in the bottom left. So now I need to work my way up the center. However, there is a protoss base in the center here. So I just need to build up some forces and then work my way through the center base, and I will have access to those last 3 terrazine sites.
Warning. The Tal'Darim are sealing off a terrazine altar.
You scared me.
Since they're sealing off an altar in an area that I do not care about, I'm just going to let them seal it. Move into the protoss base, relatively unguarded.
You scared? What's going on? Move it.
Additional supply depots required.
Huh?
Additional supply depots required.
Timer is at 8 minutes and 30 seconds,
Let's have a blast.
which is plenty of time to bring up
What's going on? Man in the
these
rear.
SCVs to repair.
This better be good. You want a piece of me, boy? Huh? Armed and ready.
One trick that I want to share
Enough upgrade.
is the mission is not fully completed until your SCVs return the canisters to the command center. Now, if you're cutting your time close, that may be a problem. However, you can circumvent that problem by building a command center close to the terrazine sites.
This better be good. Man in the rear. Go ahead.
It should also be noted that the terrazine takes 1 minute to be turned into a canister by the SCVs. So you have to start harvesting before, ideally, the 12:30 mark, because it'll take 1 minute to disconnect the canister, and then another minute, 30 seconds likely, to get back to your command center. I'm starting that process a little earlier because I'm feeling confident in the amount of army that I have here. So send Void Rays and Scouts. An army of Marines and Goliaths can take care of this quite easily.
Give me orders. Who wants some? By the number. What's going on?
Command center finished. SCVs have finished collecting everything, and all terrazine is done. I think that was just before 12 minutes. 2 minutes to spare. Rocket Queen obtained on normal difficulty. On normal, definitely not overly challenging. Focus on just getting terrazine in the 2 areas that I mentioned. That bottom left corner has 4, and that center area has 3. You'll have to work your way through the protoss base, but that shouldn't be too difficult if you build up an army of Marines and Goliaths. And now to go to the brutal walkthrough.
Go ahead. By the number.
Welcome to the brutal walkthrough for the achievement Rocket Queen.
You got it.
The achievement's requirements are to complete the entire mission in under 14 minutes.
Here are the coordinates for the terrazine sites, brother. These should make our lives a little easier.
Our SCVs can pick up terrazine canisters and move them. It'll take them a while to disconnect the canister, so make sure you watch out for them.
First few minutes, just gather this first terrazine site in the far bottom left and focus on building up your army, getting your SCVs going.
Standing by.
Bandit. SCV ready. Who wants some?
After you get the first can, future terrazine cans will have to be defended as you gather them, but the first one does not.
In the rear with the gear. Will do. SCV ready.
Not enough minerals.
First canisters unhooked now.
I've got the first canister unhooked, sir. I'll take it to the nearest command center. By the numbers, boys.
Good job. That's the first canister filled.
Incoming transmission.
This land was sacred to the Tal'Darim before Terrans ever reached the stars. We must depart immediately.
Hold on now. We just need some of this gas here. We'll be long gone before you know it.
No. You shall not defile the breath of creation. Tal'Darim warriors. Execute all those who would desecrate our altars.
The protoss are mobilizing, sir. Looks like they're gonna go after our SCVs when we harvest the terrazine. I suggest we only harvest one side at a time and run with a heavy escort.
You will have to defend your SCVs. If the protoss start to seal off one of the terrazine altars, and it is in those two areas I talked about, the bottom left or the center of the map, you should go stop them. If it's outside of those areas, it does not matter, they can seal it off.
Is it critical?
On brutal difficulty, the protoss will attack your base, in addition to hunting your SCVs.
Warning. The Tal'Darim are sealing off a terrazine altar.
Wonderful. The Tal'Darim are sealing off the terrazine altar so we can't get at them. If they keep it up, we won't be able to collect enough.
In the rear with the gear.
Looks like I lost a Goliath in there.
Move, Mr. Reyna. Collecting terrazine from two places at once.
Sure, it's gonna be harder to keep the Tal'Darim off our backs, but the quicker we're done here, the sooner we can get off this rock.
SCV ready.
Additional supply depots required.
SCV ready. Who wants some?
Alright, that's 2 more canisters obtained.
Orders received. This better be good.
It's important to know that the SCVs do have to go back to the command center to return that terrazine, and that will count in the 14 minutes.
You gonna give me orders?
3 down. You're doing great. Keep it up.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Incoming transmission. Insufficient Vespine gas.
You shall not steal the breath of creation so easily.
Careful. They're sending their ships to take out your SCVs. Shoot them down quick, or we're finished. Go, go, go!
Insufficient
Lost a
Vespine
medic.
gas.
You gonna give me orders?
Insufficient Vespine gas.
The doctor is in.
Alright, so that was all the terrazine in the bottom left. Next, you have to go through the protoss base in the center of the map here to get to those last 3 terrazine sites.
You wanted.
Big job, huh? Who wants some? Better be good. Sure.
Protoss actually target firing medics down. Rather annoying.
Huh? What's going? You gonna give me orders? Me in the rear.
Bring a couple SCVs to repair the Goliaths.
The doctor is in.
SCV ready.
Maybe don't get supply blocked.
Armed and moved.
Warning. The Tal'Darim are sealing off a terrazine altar. Additional supply depots required. Add-on complete.
Of course. I'm on it.
Don't fight in range of the cannon if you don't have to.
SCV ready.
Kill the pylon, kill the power, and now the cannon's harmless.
Go ahead.
The doctor is in.
Insufficient Vespine gas.
You rang.
One thing you might want to consider when getting this achievement is building a command center closer to these sites in the middle of the map. Since the SCVs have to return the can to a command center, if they don't have to go as far, it will take less time.
Where does it hurt?
Target fire that Colossus down. By far the scariest unit in that warp in.
Sure down, Sparky. By the
Not enough minerals.
The doctor is
gateway.
Warning. The Tal'Darim are sealing off a terrazine altar.
Want some?
Tal'Darim are sealing off another altar on that right side, which does not matter to me. I only care about the center. That command center is close to finishing, which means it'll be a little less dangerous for the SCVs. I recommend building up an army made mostly of Marines and Goliaths. Medics go a long way to helping the Marines out. High Templar. With storms. That's very rude.
Not enough minerals.
Timer just crossed 12 minutes.
With the gear. Armed and ready.
And it does take a minute to gather the terrazine cans, so I need to go ahead and get started on collecting these. I'm going to fly the command center even closer.
Gangway.
These reckless terrorists must be stopped. Slay them all.
Yes, sir.
Alright, last 2 sites are gathering. I have a decent amount of army left.
triage.
Just crossed minute 13. And now we're just delaying the protoss.
Why not? This
Should be good though.
You gonna give me your You and your
And that's it.
can't walk the walk. We just need one more canister.
Anytime, Tosh. Okay.
That's the last canister. I think
Apparently
we'll
they
take a
talk
vote.
for a little bit at the end too. I think that was around 13 minutes. 13:41 on the clock, so I had about 20 seconds to spare. Definitely more strenuous on Brutal. They do attack your base, and they send a lot more units to kill your SCVs while you're harvesting. Nonetheless, make a group of Marines, Goliaths, and medics. Goes a long way to helping out. Get rid of those Void Rays and those scouts. Collect terrazine from the bottom left corner and the center of the map, because those are really good close clusters of 4 and 3 respectively. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much for watching.